Hey, what's going on, everybody? And once again, this is Mr. Spann coming to you from Spann TV, and today I want to talk about just something in general. Right now, I want to talk about like civility in political discussions, if it's even possible to have civility in political discussions. Uh, it's so divided right now between the left and the right, and I did a blog about this actually a couple years ago when George Bush won his second term, about how divided the country had became. And with the election of Barack Obama, um, you know, a lot of that seemed to be like ebbing a little bit, like it was kind of toned down a bit. But now that the honeymoon is kind of worn off Obama's election, you're starting to see more vitriolic, you know, rants being thrown on both sides, and I kind of want to examine it a little bit. Um, First thing I do want to say is, I'm an independent. I do tend to lean, liberal, but my whole thing is I'm not a 100% on any of these things, and I don't believe the majority of America is 100% on any of these things. So many people want to align themselves with an ideology. So many people want to align themselves with, I guess whatever makes them feel good, or whatever reinforces, what beliefs they already hold to themselves. But uh, anytime you ignore a good idea simply because it's coming from the other side, then you're going to keep the gridlock there. And I've been noticing. I've already done like a video about the racial component of the opposition that President Obama has been facing lately, and it's funny. Like I've never seen it like this. But again, I'm a young guy. I'm only 29 years old. I'm a young guy, so maybe I got a long time to go. But I just found it like kind of funny how when Chicago didn't get the 2016 Olympics awarded to them, how the right was actually celebrating that. They were actually like happy Chicago didn't get it, and they tried to make that all about Obama. Obama went over there and the world rejected him, and the ego has landed. Little stuff like that. And it's just like they were rejoicing. Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh's, they were rejoicing. They were happy that Chicago or didn't get the Olympics. And me personally, it's just before you're rooting against America, so to speak, when you're rooting against your own president not to get the Olympics, when you're rooting against an American city not to get the Olympics. I mean, that's kind of like rooting against America, wouldn't you say? It's kind of unpatriotic, wouldn't you say? No matter what your political ideology is, for it to reach that point where you're like rooting against your own country from getting the Olympics, I thought that was a bit, odd. And then to follow that, the very next week, Obama wins the Nobel Peace Prize, and they're up in arms again. Like, first they were just like, okay, Obama was rejected by the world because the United States wasn't awarded the Olympics, and then he's embraced by the world, and they're mad about that. It's like the man can't really win for losing. There's really nothing he can do to appease a certain segment of people. It's just that right now those that segment of people have a pretty loud voice. Even if they are in the minority, they have a pretty loud voice. So what I really want to understand and what I want to figure out is it possible that you can actually have civil debate, about these things, where you're not being, hit across the head with Obama's a socialist, no, Obama isn't. You're not being hit across the head with, this is the one world government coming, and when it isn't. I mean, people on the fringe are just like really making themselves known, and part of it is because the viral age where everybody can make themselves heard. Hence Spann TV. But it's funny how like when you get into a debate with someone and they're so set in their belief that, you know, no matter, you know, what you say, they're going to come away with their own conclusion. There's really no convincing someone that doesn't want to be convinced. And I just want to know what people thought of that. You know, just like the lack of civility in our political discourse in this country, where you can have a congressman yell out to the president, "You lie," in the joint session of Congress, where you know, it's, if you can have a disagreement. I was speaking about Darian Albert pretty much all last week, and I've never had, you know, those kind of debates where, you know, people just automatically assume that I support Jesse Jackson and I support Al Sharpton, when I really don't. You know, they don't necessarily speak for me, but, you know, just because I held a certain, you know, political view, then, you know, you automatically assume that those people speak for me. So, you know, I just want to know, like, is it possible that you can have political discourse, have political disagreements, without it becoming an ugly argument? So, if you think you can do that, hit me up in this video. Give me a video response. Give me a text response. I want to know, what do you guys think? Is it possible to have civil political debate? And with that, I'll end this video. Check you guys out again. Thank you for watching Spann TV. Holla.